I have so many people that ask me how I do what I do. When I give it to them on a silver platter and I tell them from step 1 to step 5 what to do, they're like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that. And I did. I just laid it all out there. I had a blast. I walked off that stage and I won nationals.
I came to this country when I was 16 years old with 0 in my pocket. And from there, I worked myself up. I knew what I wanted. You have to have a vision. And you need to have fire in the belly. So today we have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Nicole Waters.
Hi.
It's very nice to meet you.
Me.
Thanks for coming.
Nice to meet you as well.
Thank you very much. And I understand that you are an NBA cheerleader.
Yes, I was an NBA cheerleader for 4 years from 2018 until 2022.
Okay.
Back home in Indianapolis cheering on the Indiana Pacers.
Very nice, yeah.
So it's been a transition living here and trying to cheer on the Heat. But I actually was on the team when Oladipo was with us. So now he's with the Heat, or he was at least.
Oh, so right now you're only with Indiana Pacers?
So now I'm no longer with the Pacers. I ended up leaving when I turned 25 in order to follow my other dreams of modeling and acting.
Nice,
That's what I
nice.
do here now.
So tell me, how does one become an NBA cheerleader?
Oh my
Take us
goodness,
to
what
the
a good
classes.
question. So there are so many different ways that you could become an NBA cheerleader background-wise. Either you're a competition dancer or a competition cheerleader, maybe you're self-taught. But it's all about researching when auditions are, what the team's vibe is, and basically training your body and your mind, because it's a week to a month-long process depending on the team. And it's just grueling every day, beating down your body, learning different dances.
But there's so many. You wasn't born in Indiana?
Yes, I was born and raised in Indiana.
Right. But so many girls, I'm sure they want to do the same thing.
Yes.
What makes you better?
In Indianapolis, there's about 100 to 200 girls that audition. I'm sure in bigger cities, there's even more.
Wow.
And the way you stand out is obviously great technique. So you have to be a well-trained dancer, whether that's training yourself or being trained growing up. Then style, which is just your personal passion that you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest way to stand out, because you can point your toes and you can kick your leg up above your head. But if you don't hit it in a way where it makes everyone want to look at you, they call it the it girl factor. My coach, Michelle Dugan, she was amazing. She called it the it girl factor. We're looking for it girls. So someone that's on fire, someone that stands out, someone with a lot of energy. And that's what that team would look for. Every team's a little different, but I would say if you have that it girl factor and you can stand out with your vibe and your personality and the way that you move, that'll stand out more than your technique.
Right. But did you have to fire in your belly to, is that what you wanted growing up as a kid?
Yeah. Well, everything that I wanted was really to become an actress at the end of the day. But dancing was my first love. I've been dancing since I was 4 years old. And I remember going to nationals. We had never been to nationals before. I go across the country to Virginia Beach, and these girls are so amazing. It gave me that fire where I wanted to win. We ended up winning nationals, and from then on, I knew I wanted to be a professional dancer. So I didn't know exactly what that looked like. I really wanted to go to LA, do music videos, maybe go on tour. But I did tear both my ACLs when I was 16. So that kind of was a setback, and I knew my career might end earlier than allowing me to go to LA and do all of that and go to college. So that's why I was able to attend Kelly School of Business at IUPUI in the city while dancing professionally for the Pacers. And that was probably just the best scenario for me, because it was really a dream of mine to go pro. So being able to do that was a blessing.
So what do? Do you travel with the team at the time? You go wherever the
So I had to Google when auditions were. They are usually end of July, early August time. And so I just showed up. I studied what to wear. I studied the style. They already pretty much were my style that I grew up with, which is just hard-hitting jazz, which is great. And yeah, I just laid it all out there. I didn't make it my first year because I was late. So that also goes to show you can be very talented. You can have a lot of passion, but if you don't understand time management, business management, and being in professionalism, you can also get cut. So you have to be a very well-rounded person.
So I assume you're not lazy.
Not lazy at all. Oh my gosh, you're always on the go. Always on the go.
What time to get up?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, in college, it depended. I mean, I had 8 a.m. classes, and then I would finish at 4, and then I'd go to practice until 10.
Right.
So sometimes I'd wake up at 6 a.m. just to study.
So when you're going back to the team, so when you travel with the team, wherever they go, you go?
No, so we were always home based, but
Oh, home
there were
based.
about 41 home games a season. So we were plenty busy, and we had 2 practices a week as well on top of appearances.
Right.
We'd actually get paid to go out in the community, sign autographs.
Right.
We read to children. We went to nursing homes. It was a blast. I think that was my favorite part about it. I thought it would be the
And
dancing.
a lot of people, like 20,000 people looking at you.
So many people. I don't even know the number in that stadium. I feel like I should know. They did redo it a few years back when I was getting ready to leave, and it's Gainbridge now. But it's a big stadium. Yeah.
Big stadiums.
So
Well, you're not shy.
you can't be shy, but every single time, I think I've gotten really great about being in front of groups of people because of it. But you still get those butterflies, which is a good feeling though.
Good feeling.
Yeah.
What do you recommend if a girl wants to join the NBA? How does one go?
Yeah. If you want to join the NBA, just like anything else, if you have passion for it, if you have the talent, just go for it. I think the biggest thing is people are afraid to go for what they want.
They're looking for the perfect body, the sponsor.
Some people probably, but honestly, more or less now, because there's so many more important things, I think, in society's eyes than what a body looks like. I think there's all sorts of beauty in all sorts of shape and sizes. And the NBA is respecting that a little more now.
Right.
So, but yeah, definitely work on your body because you need to have stamina. You want to look good and feel good in your uniform so that you perform well.
Right.
And that's why working out is really important to me even today when I'm not even a professional dancer anymore, because I want to respect my body and let that carry over into everything else in my life.
So you're a young lady, in your 20s, right? And what's next for you now?
So right now I'm building a couple of businesses. I'm very excited. This past year, I've had the pleasure of modeling and acting full time, traveling around the world, even doing a Visa Swim Week, modeling in West Virginia, going to California, but mainly here locally in Miami. And it's been great. I love it. I love the grind, but I'm also ready to have a couple of entities on my own to carry on if I decide to ever stop doing it, or if it gets too hectic of a lifestyle, or more so just to have something else and diversify my income portfolio. And
because I know that girls your age or boys, I mean, right, and girls in this time, they're not very either motivated, or they're just either they're lazy, or they don't want to go. They don't want to punch a clock. They don't want to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They want to be home, or they want to be on social media nonstop, right?
I will say that's what motivated me was my laziness, I feel like, in a way, because I didn't want to sit at a table from 9 to 5. I did that in school. I have ADHD. I like to move around. I like to be out and about. I like to be on the go. And
but the difference is, you didn't want to do 9 to 5, but you did something about it.
I wanted to do something.
You did something. You worked toward a goal.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to do 9 to 5. You knew about it. You know what your mind wants. Okay, so you work towards something else that's to make you happy.
Yeah.
In the interim, not stay home, be lazy.
I think people put their happiness in other people's hands, and they're kind of waiting for something to happen for them instead of going and grabbing it. But that's the fun part, is going for it. So I think everyone just needs to get their little booties moving.
That's the thing. But they want things handed to them,
Yeah, they want it handed to them. I have so many people that ask me how I do what I do. And when I give it to them on a silver platter, when I give it to them on a silver platter and I tell them from step 1 to step 5 what to do, they're like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, then you're never going to do what you want or what you say you want. And do you really want it if you're not willing?
Of course, yeah. I believe it's all in the mindset.
Yeah, you get out what you put in. And that doesn't necessarily mean working harder, but it means putting in the work and putting in the energy that it requires to manifest.
Right, so you're not afraid of hard work.
I'm all for hard work.
Hard work or smart work?
Smart work would be better. I think you need hard work, but you don't per se need to work more hours. If that makes sense.
It does make sense.
But I mean, in the beginning, it does require a lot of time. I mean, I locked myself in my apartment for a week straight just to get my portfolios together to get where I'm going. I didn't make a cent that week. And sometimes it's just hard like that. And you have to struggle a little bit, but then you bear fruit and you get a lot out of it, and it's worth it.
Right. But it's quite a difference from Indiana to Miami, right?
Oh my gosh, it's so different. That's why.
A little bit warmer, like 2 degrees warmer, like Miami.
Just, maybe like half a degree warmer here. Yeah, no, in Indiana, I grew up and sometimes it'd be negative 16 degrees in the winter.
Right, great.
And I'm standing outside at recess like a penguin. So I just watched Surf's Up last night, actually. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a Disney movie about penguins going surfing. And that's what I felt like. I felt like the main guy, Cody, I think it is.
Right.
He's from this very, very cold land. And then he's like, my dream is to leave. And I just always wanted to leave. I love Indiana. I love owning who I am. Small town girl, grew up in literal cornfields. But I would look around, and I was 8 years old, and I looked at my mom. I said, can we move to LA so I can be an actress? She said no. So I knew I was on my own. And when I made it here 3 years ago, I just never really looked back because I'm so happy with
You never look
present
back.
self and my future that I'm working towards.
Right.
And Miami's great.
Yeah, I feel like you wake up in the morning, sunshine every single day.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like it's energy, right? Give you like I know I can do anything. I can take on the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Something feel like that. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop me.
I really do think seasonal depression's a real thing, and being somewhere where it's cold, you're not getting the vitamin D and the sunshine and the activity and the warmth that you need to be your best self in order to put more of yourself into what you love, which is another reason why I wanted to live somewhere warm.
Right.
So I could feel better and take that energy and put it into what
In fact, they did study that people that in places where it's very cold, they have more alcoholics there.
They have what?
Alcohol.
Oh, I really do. So
and they
people,
just it's
it's
they
funny.
get drunk.
People, no, it's so true.
Right.
People always assumed when I moved here, I would party more here. And I party less in Miami than I did in Indiana.
But because it's special, no, because you're not for that. You didn't come for the party.
I didn't come for the party.
Right.
And also, there's just really nothing else to do in Indiana than maybe just drink with your friends, which I don't really like.
Right.
But there wasn't anything to do. Here, you can go ride your bike on the beach. I learned how to surf yesterday for the first time, which is awesome.
So you live in South Beach or Brickell?
When I first lived here, I lived in South Beach. Then I tried downtown, which is super fun. Now I'm in Edgewater, so I'm kind of doing a little tasting.
Right. I feel like Brickell, it's like the big thing going right now. This is like the hottest thing, Brickell. Party.
Brickell's
party
hot. Brickell's definitely hot. It's social.
Social, right.
And I think for people my age, that's also important to be social. I made a lot of my network going out and meeting people, not necessarily at parties, but going to housewarmings, going to events.
Right.
I think you think hard work, you need to stay in and lock yourself in. Sometimes you do really need to lock in. But it's also going out and pushing yourself to talk to people that maybe you normally wouldn't. And then growing your network, because your network is your net worth.
So you really, what motivates you now? Money? No, it's okay. Don't be shy.
That's a really great question. I think I'm money motivated for sure. I think as the older I get, the more money motivated I am. I think I was experience driven.
You want a good life.
Yeah, I want a great life, but I want a full life. I just want to be happy. Maybe I don't need to be a billionaire, but I would like to be comfortable enough to where I can travel and enjoy the world that I was born into and see the world and taste the different cultures and foods from different cultures and hear the music around the world. I want to experience life.
So sometimes a lot of young girls, and I mean young beautiful girls, okay, right, they end up marrying or hook up with somebody older in 50 or 60 for the money.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That's not...
I think that can work out. I just think if you're not actually happy, don't do it. If you're doing it for money, you might as well just go.
They want the good life. They want to, they want to wake up in the penthouse. They want to go those fancy cars, right?
I think that's awesome. I would love to wake up in a penthouse.
Right.
I would love to drive in a few nice cars.
Maybe right, but Lamborghini or whatever, right?
And if a man were to provide that for me, that's amazing. I don't think I could marry a man just solely for that personally.
Because you feel like if you do, just forget about yourself.
You forget about yourself, honestly.
No. If you get to that level by yourself.
Oh, if you get to that level by yourself, that's my goal.
It's a much better feeling than relying on another individual.
Exactly, it's such a better feeling. I think my biggest thing is I did date someone that was pretty well off. He was a little older than me. He wasn't like an older man. But what I found was he told me I didn't have to work. He didn't really want me working. So I feel like there was a control dynamic or factor there. And I said, you know what? I think my dreams are more important. Even if I'm, not as well off without you, I'm going to go do my own thing and find my own thing, and it'll work out. If you're just going where you really believe your soul belongs and following your destiny that you feel like you hear inside your head and in your heart, I think you'll end up in a good place. So Yeah, I mean, I'm not as well off as I was with him, maybe, but together, but I'm a lot happier because I'm following my dreams, and I think that'll manifest.
Well, you want to be independent. You want to think for yourself. You don't want someone to tell you what to do.
No, I'm
And-
too independent for that.
And you want to get it on your own. It's a better feeling you get together
So good.
because of you, not because someone gave it to you, handed it to you.
And you want to create something. At least I do. I want to create a legacy. I want to leave something in this world, and I wasn't going to be able to do that if I was just following a guy around.
Right. What do you
It's
think?
different if he supports you in your dreams and maybe like helps you out with that. But
That's how that's. And,
that's a rare.
right. You like to talk about politics, so that's untouchable.
We can talk about politics. We can talk about whatever.
Okay. No,
As long as you don't cancel me.
What? It's okay. It's okay. How do you like the new president?
The new president, this is a sticky topic.
Okay. That means you don't like him.
No, I like him. I don't agree with everything, but you're not going to agree with everything everyone does. I'm interested to see how this plays out. I feel like we're in better hands than we would have been with the other party personally.
Right.
And I'm sorry. I know some people are just very hurt that he's our president. And I know if I even say I'll support him, they'll cancel me in their own minds.
No, that's
love you guys anyways.
okay.
But, I just really want the best for the country. And I feel like this was the best bet and best decision moving forward. There are some sticky decisions that he's making. And sometimes you have to do that in order to get where you need to be.
Yeah.
And I don't understand economics fully. I that was not my forte in college. I had someone help me with my for sure.
But it seems to me that if you go on a date tomorrow with a boy your age, okay, can you relate? Because sometimes I find it to be stupid. Not necessarily everybody, okay, but some young boys, okay, forgive me, okay. I'm very forward, okay. They just don't care. They just want to, they're looking for one night staying. They don't care about relationship. They don't care about making money. They're like, they feel entitled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
it's unfortunate, by the way,
in their 30s because guys in their 20s just they don't know life. They don't have respect. Sometimes they don't have their career. I mean, guys in their 30s tend to. Some of them never grow up, but guys in their 30s at least tend to understand life a little more.
Just saying the 30s, the new 20s.
They're looking more to settle down. 30s is the new 20s. I turned 30 in 3 years. Actually 2.5 years now, but I feel like I am 20 years old. And but with a little more money and experience, it's great.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
I feel you feel like you want to feel, right?
Yeah.
If you want to feel like you're 50, you can be 50.
Yeah.
But if you want to feel like you're in 20, right?
That's so true.
It doesn't mean you're going to go out and party, but you just the energy and the vibe.
Your energy is different. You're more confident in the way that you move.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like in my early 20s, I was always like, who am I? I think I always knew, but I was afraid to just be me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I had advice to someone in their early 20s right now, it would be just be you and trust in the process because there's no reason to.
I often hear fake it till you make it. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think so too. I also believe in just being genuine. I think I know who I'm going to be when I'm older. I know I'm going to be successful. I'm not there yet. So I'm not really faking it.
No,
like coming on this podcast talking about myself, maybe I'm not like a millionaire, famous actress.
Right.
But I think one day...
You're very young. Yeah. Don't rush it. Fine.
Yeah. So I'm just going to live in the moment and enjoy this version of myself that I am right now.
You're not going to be in 20s or whatever, early 30, anytime, it's only one time.
Only once.
So you want to be able to enjoy that,
Exactly.
And you know what? You will just travel the world.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have had the pleasure of traveling a little bit, maybe not as much as some people my age. God bless them. But I did take myself to Europe for the first time 2 years ago.
Easy. Uh-huh.
And that was just the best experience of my life. I did it broke. I spent $5,000 and I think that was worth the $5,000 compared to what I had at the time.
Right.
Because just going around the world and seeing how small the world is really gives you confidence in yourself as well.
Agreed.
So yeah, it's very valuable to travel.
What do you see us for the next 10 years?
In the next 10 years? Hopefully by then, I will have a few companies under my belt. Maybe I sell a company or two. I really want to be a serial entrepreneur, but also a bigger actress and model than I am now. Just keep on going with what I'm doing now.
Do you better off in California or no, for being...
I think the world is really becoming flatter in the internet, in the entertainment and internet space.
Right.
Thanks to the internet and also just COVID making people disperse throughout the country and the world. I think everything was very centered and dense in LA, But now Atlanta's popping off more, Miami's popping off more,
Right.
and you can even find acting and modeling jobs just in smaller states.
Right.
Especially when people come and travel, LA producers and directors will come to Miami and then they hire me because I'm the local talent and it's less expensive for them to hire.
Absolutely. You know, those big names, supermodels, and even big actresses, they just play themselves out of the, they're not, if you know, by the way, the industry is with Canada.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they can afford them because it's like $20 million a movie, $30 million a movie, you know. So if you see movies, you see like no-name people that, you know.
I will say usually the leads usually do come from LA, but you know, when that time comes for me, then I'll either make the decision to move up there or maybe it'll disperse even more and I don't need to leave Miami. I love Miami. I could see myself here forever.
Everybody loves Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard not to beat. So I don't know, but I do know that I'm very excited to see how it all plays out. If I need to move, I do love LA too. I could be happy there and I'm sure there'd be great work for me there. The cool thing about Miami is there's a small talent pool. So I do get booked often, even though you think there's not as much work. When there is work, there's not as much talent to compete against, which is nice. It's a good way to learn too.
Good way to learn.
Yeah.
Right. And in terms of friends, you have good friends here and you're happy with it?
Yeah.
Any friends back home?
Yeah, so I have great friends back home. I was very social growing up. I always wanted to talk to everyone in school and around the city. I just got to know everyone. So leaving that was a little hard. Coming here not knowing one soul. I did have a boyfriend and I feel like he was a little controlling. So I didn't make as many friends. And then when I started like putting my head down and focusing on my work, I didn't really believe in needing to be social. And then I thought, what the heck? I've been here 2 years. I've barely made any friends. So about a year ago, I started going out more and making an effort and putting energy into meeting people and cultivating relationships. It's been awesome. Like I've been making more money because of it. I have more support. So mentally and emotionally, I'm better. I think it's really important to have a strong community and group of friends because you need that mentally and emotionally. And I think it just expands your network even further.
Right.
So yeah, I have a great group of friends. I love it. I love to be social with them. We stay in, we do game nights. Sometimes we go out.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to know if I want to promote your people wants to reach out to you. You do modeling, right?
Yeah, I do modeling and acting. And I also do a lot of event work, social media, content creation.
And if someone wants to reach you, you can get the information to the
Yeah, if you want to reach me, you can find my at Nicole_Wallace_dance. I know it's a long one, but it's a good one and it's worth it. I'm actually working on creating a course to help people do what I do right now. And I'm starting a modeling agency to help models get connected in Miami and find work, as well as a brand that I will be releasing sometime later. I'm not going to talk about that yet.
Not yet. No,
Yeah.
now to reveal the secret? No. Today.
It's just in the process. It's in the works. So I don't want to talk too much about it yet. But as far as my course in the modeling agency, you can be looking for that. I love to help people do what I love because I love doing what I love. And I just want everyone to have this.
You feel like you want to pay it forward, right?
Yeah, I want to pay it forward. I love it so much. I want other people to experience the same if they really have the same passion for it.
Because I feel like, we live in a world where people either, because like, for example, people reach out to me, what do you sell? I want a course, I want to pay. I don't want money. I'm not doing it for the money.
Yeah.
This is all about paying it forward, okay? People always think, there's something in it for that person, okay?
Yeah.
And, you just feel like, you want to give back to the world.
Yeah, exactly. I want to give back. I think I posted a quote yesterday on Instagram. What did it say?
Please,
Let me share it if I may. How much longer do we have on here?
We have
good time. Okay, so
we got time.
The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. Pablo Picasso. I think that was a really great quote. So I think it's amazing to find your gift, but then giving it away is the purpose.
Share with us about your life experience. Something that stick out that you really, like looking back, you can go back and look at it,
I never talk about growing up as a dancer. Honestly, a lot of people don't even know I'm a dancer. A lot of people know me as an actress and model now, but dancing, it was my first love, and it's how I came about with everything I do now in the entertainment industry. So one story that a lot of people don't know about me is when I was in high school, I really, really wanted to do a solo, which is a dance on your own and compete. My parents didn't want to pay for it, but all the good dancers had one. Eventually, they paid for me to have one. I did pretty well. I placed top 5 all year. The next year, I didn't place once. So I'm going into nationals. I'm scared. I'm shaking, literally shivering in my boots. And my dance teacher, God bless her, she was like, "You're going to get eaten alive at nationals. You basically stopped all year. You're not going to place. You're just going to get eaten alive." So I so badly wanted to crawl in a hole and hide and maybe even pull my dance from nationals and just not go. But I knew something inside of me was like, this is what I'm meant for. I'm meant for dance. If no one else believes in me, I have to believe in myself. So rather than just going out there to try to win, I'm going to go out there for myself. I had so much fire in me. Just put so much fire in my
You see the
heart.
fire in the belly. You can't
Yeah, in the belly.
you can't
feel
buy
it.
that.
It's physical.
You can't buy that.
You can't buy
That's something that either you have it or you don't have it.
Yeah. And so it was really, boiling in there. And I decided to go anyways. And I went for myself and I said, I just know that I'm the best. I know it in myself. So I'm going to lay it out there as myself, as the best. And I did. I just laid it all out there. I had a blast. I walked off that stage and I won nationals.
Wow.
So if I had
What age was that? 15?
a coward, I think I was about 15, around there. Yeah, 14 or 15. If I had pulled my dance from nationals like I had wanted to because I was scared and anxious and afraid, I would have never won nationals. I would have never gained that confidence. I would have never gained that title.
Right.
I would have never gone on to maybe, who knows, maybe I would have quit dance. Like my courage was really just, it was dwindling. My confidence was dwindling, but my courage was bigger than my confidence at the time. And then that's what grew my confidence. So anytime anyone's about to give up, I think that's when they're the closest to making it. So never give up. Just keep going.
Keep going. See, people that, when you go there, natural, you're over there on stage, okay? People look at you, they're gonna think about you. Oh, look this, look at that, and
Oh yeah,
too skinny, too fat, too short,
Yeah.
too long, too tall. Well, they're always gonna say something, even if you think about it, okay?
yeah,
And you're thinking, oh my God, I don't want people to, you know what I mean? At 15, that's pretty
Yeah.
great. By the way, it's very, very, a lot of courage.
Oh yeah. I was
That's
sweating
right.
backstage. I was always sweating backstage, but I went out there like I wasn't. And so sometimes it is kind of faking it like you make it, but you just got to face your fears.
No,
face
but you
them.
made it. You faced your fear.
I did.
And I think, by the way, that would be a good. I know you want to work out. You want to you put together a new studio or a new class for people.
Yeah, of course, online.
I think you may want to call it "Face Your Fear,"
Yeah, something like that.
like that.
Actually, I'm friends with.
Had to face your fear.
Yeah, I'm friends with this author. She has Fear is my homeboy.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of it's not really being fearless. It's embracing your fear and taking it on and making
Correct.
it part of you. Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Because you know what, I'm the kind of guy that. And by the way, if you have any question about me,
Oh, I have so many questions. You said this was about me today. Just kidding.
it is about you. But you know what? That's why I just did one line. Okay, I don't give in what people think about me.
Yeah, you can't. I think
Yeah.
that's the.
Does that make
There's a
sense?
couple of keys to success, but I think that's the main one. And I think one way of not caring what other people think about you is taking your flaws and learning to love them. That sounds so cliche. But if you're feeling, a little thick that day, own your thickness and it'll come off so much more appealing and attractive to people
Absolutely. Right.
than if you were insecure about it.
Right.
Or if you feel too skinny, or if you feel too
No, yeah.
feel
But
too smart. Like you own who you are, and then it's
Right.
just so much more attractive.
But you see, you always want to surround yourself with smart people, smart
Oh, yeah.
than you, not the
Oh,
same
yeah.
level. Because if someone,
For sure. No. I
you know,
just
the game.
I just know myself. I used to be so afraid that I'm a little ditzy. I am. I'm a smart girl, but I'm a little ditzy. And I just kind of own that. That's part of my personality.
Right.
And then people learn to love it.
Right.
Yeah, but I always will want smarter people around me.
Listen, I used to go get listing back in the day, going back many years ago, okay, 20, 30 years ago. Wow, 30 years ago. People used to spit on my face,
Oh,
face,
gross.
curse me out. And I say, listen,
How did you deal with
can I-
that?
thick skin. Can I still, I'm from Israel. Yeah. Can I still get the listing? No, you can't. The next day, okay, come get the listing. You know what I mean? It's just a little persistent and, you
Yeah,
can't
how
give
do you
up and-
deal with disrespect? Because that's my biggest thing. I feel like, people can be themselves, they can make mistakes, but disrespect, that's a huge thing for them.
You just have to check your ego at the door.
Yeah.
I don't care about the ego. I care about my bank accounts. Make sense?
Yeah.
I want to see, I'm happy. You know what? They can spit on me, but I'm going to be happy. I'll dance when I go look at my bank account.
Yeah. So have you done a lot of ego work or like shadow work in order to?
No, that's basically, over the years, over the years, you have to, it's in you. Like, you know what? Either you want to have the ego You want to be, I need to have the pride, or I want to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Or go back to where I come from. Oh, you failed. You went to Miami. You can't go back, right?
Yeah. That's how I felt when I was a bartender back home. I graduated from college as bartending to live on my own and move here. And everyone just saw me as a bartender, and I felt a little, my ego was hurt a little bit, but at the same time, I didn't really care. My pride was smaller than my goals. So I knew I was going to come here and do what I'm doing now. Now everyone sees that and they're like, oh, light bulb.
But let me ask you something else outside the box. You're a beautiful girl, right?
Thank you.
Some people sometimes take it for granted. Oh, she's not very smart because she's so beautiful.
I think some people see it as a useful tool.
Right.
I think that, it's good when it comes to sales and marketing and doing things that I'm involved with.
I think you're very unique.
But yeah, thank you. I think sometimes, it does allow for people to underestimate you, which sometimes is actually to your advantage.
Yeah, you know what? I like when people underestimate me.
Yeah, I do too. It's like, okay, it's a fun little game.
Exactly. Let them do that.
But I feel like more than anything, it comes to when people see you, maybe they judge you off your appearance and they don't really get to know you because they think they know you from your Instagram and from your looks.
Right.
And so when someone actually asks deep questions and wants to get to know me, that really opens up my heart and makes me happy. I feel like that's the biggest thing is people are shallow. They see you look good and that's all they care about.
But you see, you're a deep thinker.
Yeah, I am a very deep.
It takes somebody very big to think that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are very shallow.
Yeah.
Very plastic for that matter. And they just care. I don't care, look at me, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not right.
Yeah.
You want to be able to see what's inside you.
Exactly.
And understand it and have the confidence, knowing that, what, I have what it takes.
Exactly.
And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Growing up, as a young age, 10-year-old, you started 4 years old, right?
Yeah, dancing at 4 years old.
You knew what you wanted to do, and did you have any support at home or anything?
I really feel like I lacked a lot of support. Wow. And I feel like it's because innately you know who you are, but other people see something and they can't tell how you feel or they don't know who you are on the inside. They're not you. So they just kind of make up an idea of you from things that they've observed and learned in their own environment growing up. So even my parents, they're like, okay, she likes to dance, but she doesn't really need to dance. I said, no, Mom and Dad, I do. I have to. And then now, it's funny, I called my mom the other day and I'm like, Mom, I'm feeling a little weird. Am I doing the right thing by following my dreams? She said, I was always scared whenever you made a jump and then you would jump and you would do amazing. So you just keep on going. So it just sounds great that we went from, little girl who my parents didn't really understand me dancing. They didn't really understand me moving here to Miami a few years ago. Right. And now they're so proud of me. It's the same with people in my hometown.
Great feeling, right?
It's a great feeling. Same with people in my hometown. People didn't really know me. They just saw me as a beautiful face. They didn't know I was going to go on to be a direct admit to the Kelly School of Business, get into honors college. They didn't know that I was going to go from dance team to one of the few Pacers dancers cheering on our NBA team. And I think I really shocked a lot of people, but I didn't necessarily shock myself because I always knew innately who I was and what my value was. But
you had a calling.
You can shock people.
You had a calling, so you know.
I had a calling, so I knew. But yeah, I think a lot of people didn't really support me until they saw me win nationals, and then they're like, "Oh, I want to be your friend," or until they saw me become a pace mate, and they're like, "Oh, I want to date you now," or until they saw me move to Miami and make it here, and now they're cheering me on, saying, "Congrats, it's been amazing watching you grow." But maybe necessarily they didn't believe me from the beginning.
Right.
That's okay. You just have to stick to your own gut.
Of course, always. So as an NBA dancer, it's like a short career, would you say?
I would say it's a short career. Some people do it for 10 years, which I think is pretty long.
Too long.
For me, I knew there was more I wanted to do in my life. I loved dancing for the NBA, but I wanted to move across the country. I wanted to travel. I wanted to act.
So you knew it was going to be a very short type of thing?
For me, I knew it was going to be 2 to 4 years. Honestly, 4 years is how long I was there. I thought I was going to do it for 2.
Right.
But I loved it. I really did. I just love what I'm doing now. And I think life is always changing. There's ups and downs, and there's different adventures that you get to experience, and that's what it's all about. So,
and in the NBA dance group, do they have like a one person as the leader, or?
Yeah, we have a captain.
We have a captain.
So I was younger on the team, and I was newer. You have to have a lot of seniority. You usually have to have a lot of seniority.
Did you want to be a captain, or you didn't care?
I would have loved to be the captain. I knew I was never going to stay on the team long enough to become that, unfortunately. I was captain of my middle school cheer team, and I loved that. I always loved being in charge, not because of the power dynamic.
You seem like you're an alpha.
I am.
Right.
Everyone thinks I'm a type B. I am a type B, but I'm a type B, type A.
Okay.
Because I like to control, but I go with the flow. I'm not gonna be, all uptight.
Got it.
But I can definitely lead people in a way where we're calm and we get to where we need to be without freaking out.
Right. So getting back to current event, you're looking to help people.
Yeah.
They can reach out to you, Susan.
I would love to help anyone who has any questions about following their dreams, no matter what that is, especially in the entertainment industry through modeling, acting.
Anything about the dream? Anything?
Yeah. I just love to inspire people. So if this helps people that want to become a professional athlete, or maybe they want to start their own business or brand, maybe they just need a little.
Maybe you want to do real estate.
Yeah. Honestly, why not? Just diversify the portfolio a little more.
Right.
I'll call you.
Time, right. It's a pleasure having you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure being interviewed by you.
I came to this country when I was 16 years old with zero in my pocket. And from there, I worked myself up. I knew what I wanted. You have to have a vision. And you need to have fire in the belly.